friends, and welcome to Cayleigh's Corner, and today I have a more laid-back video for you. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm starting to feel bad about putting out these more chillax videos. They don't take quite as much time to do. But another part of me knows that if I don't do it this way right now, I will never finish Halloween Streamfest 2K15 in time. So I'm sorry if these are a little more low energy, a little more low-key, but this is how it's gotta be right now so I can finish Halloween Streamfest 2K15 and get that out. So for this week's dark video, I will be doing the Scariest Things tag, which, if you don't know, is a tag for people like me who are kind of fascinated with the darker things in life. There are 7 questions. Let's go! First question is scariest real-life experience. I'm saving my scariest experiences for Dark Side videos and Nightmare Machine videos, but I'll tell you my second scariest one. I don't even know if it's that scary. So this was back in high school, my freshman year. I didn't have a car, couldn't drive anywhere, and I was Facebook messaging 2 of my friends. We'll call them Daniel and Greg. Daniel and Greg were at Daniel's house playing video games, and I was like, hey, can I come tag along? I got nothing to do. And they were like, yeah, sure, why not? And they were like, hey, meet us at this pond. It's a pond that's in the suburban area that I lived in. Everyone knew where it was, and I was like, okay, we'll meet you at the intersection of blah and blah next to the pond. Cool. See you there in like half an hour. It's a chilly fall day. I put in my headphones, I throw on a hoodie, it's cloudy. Nice 20-minute, mile-long walk to the pond. And this is an area of town that's pretty nice, but the area I'm walking into is like getting into older homes. It's starting to get a little more run down. There's no sidewalks, and it's a very hilly, up and down, 2-lane road. So I walk to the pond, I walk to the intersection, there's a 4-way stop. I wait for 10 minutes, I got there early, and no sign of my friends after 10 minutes. I'm like, oh, maybe they're running late. All of a sudden, over the hill from the road that I came from, comes an old, white, dirty, ugly-looking van with super tinted windows in the back seats. And I'm already a little bit paranoid. I was just raised that way. So I kind of put my hood up and I turn my head away. I face the opposite direction. But as it's approaching, I hear the sound of its tires get slower and slower. And then it stops at the 4-way intersection. And I notice it stops there for an unnecessary amount of time. There was no one else at this intersection. Nobody. Deserted. Crickets. You know, the whole shebang. So he wasn't waiting on anyone. The van was just sitting there idling for the longest time at that stop sign. And eventually I hear it go straight. Just drive straight on. It disappears up and over a hill. I feel a lot more relieved. Where are my friends? So I wait 5 more minutes. I tried calling them on my Motorola Razr, which was the cool thing back then, and no answer. And then standing there facing the intersection, and up over the hill where the van disappeared, it comes back. And I'm thinking, oh shit. I have no time to turn around. I have no time to hood myself and hide myself. So I just stand there, frozen, in fear, because this van is really sketchy looking. And then the van gets closer and it stops at the stop sign, and I can see the driver, and he's just looking straight at me. And I am just standing there, frozen, like a little baby deer caught in the headlight, and he sits there for the longest time. I swear it was like 5 minutes. It may have been 2, may have been 1 minute, I don't know. And internally, I am freaking the hell out. After a while of staring at me, he turns right and up another hill to which I can't see the top of. Immediately, the second he's out of sight, I am on the move. Behind me, in front of the pond, there's a slope down, and there's this jungle, this small jungle of shrubbery and small trees. And immediately, I just, not even thinking about it, just dive into it. I slide down the grass, I get under all that, and I try to get as quiet as I can, and I try not to move. And I'm laying there in the thicket, cold, freaked out, and all of a sudden the sound of very slow tires. Not from my vantage point in the shrubbery, because it's kind of steep and uphill. I can't see whoever's sitting at the stop sign. And I have this gut feeling that it's the white van again. I hear the car idling, I kid you not, for 5 minutes. And my heart is like pounding, and I'm waiting for someone to just run down the hill and grab me and drag me and put me into the back of their van. Luckily, I don't hear anyone get out of the van. Finally, after what feels like for fucking ever, I hear it turn and I hear it drive off. I don't see it drive off, so I don't even know if it was the white van. But who the hell sits at a stop sign for 5 freaking minutes? That was terrifying. And thinking back now, I should have been angrier at my friends who didn't show up. No explanation as to why they didn't show up. And I asked them about it at the school like the next day, and they were like, oh, we just forgot. You forgot me? I could have been kidnapped. No call, nothing.
Red light, red light.
It's whatever. I'm fine. I don't even know if it was anything. I'm naturally paranoid, so maybe it was nothing. Maybe he was just like, I'm really lost. But my gut didn't feel that way. My gut was telling me to get out. Second question is, what is your scariest paranormal experience? If you've watched my Crescent Hotel video, that's probably the thing I would point to as being like the most plausible paranormal experience. I don't know that I've had a scary one because I'm kind of a skeptic, but I will tell you a quick story that I was reminded of recently because my mom had a similar experience, and I feel like she needs to know about this because I'm pretty sure she's forgotten. So one day, I was lying in my parents' bedroom, in their bed, watching TV. I was alone. It was daytime. My mom was out back, gardening and doing stuff out there. My dad and my younger sister were down in the garage. They were getting ready for the garage sale. And I had the door to my parents' bedroom closed and locked. And I didn't necessarily lock the door on purpose. It was just kind of a habit I formed walking around the house. I was super paranoid. So I'm just laying there watching TV, and all of a sudden, my parents' bedroom door starts shaking. Kind of like... It does that for maybe a good 3 seconds or so. So I'm thinking, oops, I locked the door again, like I usually do. Mom or dad wants in the bedroom. So I go over, I unlock the door, and I open it, and there's no one there. So I shut it, I lock it again, I go to lay down, and it happens again. So this time I'm like, okay, this must be my younger sister playing a prank on me because she's starting to reach the age where she thinks it's funny to prank me. So I walk over to the door, I unlock it, I kind of pause, and I wait to hear any footsteps. I don't hear anything. No running away, no giggling. And I fling it open, and there's no one there. So I'm standing there with the door open, I'm like, okay, maybe this is my sister, or my mom, or my dad. So I go look out the window in my parents' bedroom, which looks over the backyard, and mom's out there. She's chilling. So I walk downstairs, and downstairs in the garage is basically the furthest place you can be from my parents' bedroom. And I go down there and open the door, and my dad has my sister on his lap, and he's talking to her, he's reading to her or something. They were having lunch. And I'm like, hey, have either of you been inside or upstairs lately, huh? Please say yes. Please say yes. Please say yes. And they were like, no, I haven't gone inside in a while. Not since we made our lunch like 20 minutes ago. Okay. Not okay. My dad's like, why don't you go ask your mom? So I go out back. She's like, I went in and out once. And there's this thing about my house, my parents' house where I used to live, and when you would shut any of the doors that lead to the outside, like the way the house was set up, the air would flow and it would like make the other doors rattle. That wasn't what I heard. I had heard that sound before plenty of times. It's more like a... and then it quietly settles back down. The shaking was... and she was like,
oh, you're just imagining things. It was just me going in and out.
She didn't believe me. She did not believe me. And now, now I've got you. Because the other night, my mom's like, anything weird happening to you lately? And I'm like, no, why? And she says,
well, last night our door was shaking and I couldn't figure out why.
So, you didn't believe me, and now it's happening to you.
Why didn't you believe me? Like, I was really scared.
Third question, have you ever known anyone who has committed a violent crime? Answer is no. Although, there was this one time I saw a mugshot of this girl that I used to play like t-ball and basketball with, and she'd been arrested for battery, attempted murder, so that's a little scary. Other than that, nah. Are you afraid of the dark? Why or why not? I don't know what this is. It's like a jellyfish is just slapping my face. It honestly depends on the mood. If I'm alone and I just watched a freaky horror movie, or if things are just really quiet and I hear like a loud sound, yeah, I get a little afraid of the dark. If I'm ever with anyone, nah, not really. If I'm just chilling and doing my thing and not watching horror, then I'm like, I'm fine. Does your hometown have any scary stories or legends? I can't think of anything specific for my hometown. There is a town nearby that's kind of becoming a ghost town. People are dying and moving away and no one's really like keeping it alive. And apparently there are shadow people there. What is your favorite urban legend? I have two that I can never pick from because they're both very similar and they both involve babysitters and home intruders, which is also coincidentally what most of my nightmares are about. People invading my home that I don't want there. So the first one is about a babysitter. She's babysitting a couple kids. She puts them down to go to bed, and the dad, before he left, was like,
Hey, I don't want you wandering around the house after they go to sleep. You can watch TV in the spare bedroom.
So she puts him to bed, she follows his rules, she goes in there, she starts to watch TV, but there's this clown statue in the corner. She tries to just ignore it, but then it really starts creeping her out. Eventually, she leaves the room and she calls the dad of the two kids that she's babysitting. She's like, hey, I can't stay in that room. Your clown statue is fucking creepy. And the dad goes,
Get the kids and go next door. And call me back and call 911.
she goes to the neighbor's house, she calls 911 and she calls him back. He's like,
We don't have a clown statue, and the kids have been complaining that they see a clown watching them sleep at night.
yeah. So that's a fun one. That one freaks me out. Probably mostly because clowns freak me out. The other one that involves a babysitter is very similar. This babysitter, she's taking care of 3 kids. The parents leave for the night, all is well. She puts the kids to bed upstairs. She goes downstairs. And she's expecting a call from her boyfriend at the house she's babysitting at. And so she's waiting by the phone. And it rings. She answers it thinking it's her boyfriend. Only there's no one on the other line. She's like, okay, mistaken call, whatever. Phone rings again, and there's a voice on the other end, a male voice, and it says,
Have you checked the children?
before she can say anything, person hangs up. She stays downstairs. She thinks it was like a prank call or something. She gets another call, and this time, the voice says,
Aren't you going to check the children?
she hangs up, phone rings again. This time she answers it, and she hears,
Why haven't you checked the children?
which implies that this person can see her. She freaks out, hangs up, calls 911 and says, I think someone's watching me. What do I do? And 911's like, okay, next time he calls, keep him on the line. We'll try to trace the call and we will call you back. So she waits. He calls back and she's like, what do you want from me?
I want to bathe in your blood.
And she hangs up, and 911 calls her, and they're like, you need to get out of the house. The call is coming from inside the house. Get your ass out. So she drops the phone, she runs to the front door, it's locked, she struggles with it for a second, but she gets out just as the door at the top of the stair opens, and she can see the silhouette of a man in the hallway, and she runs out the front door, and straight into the arms of a policeman holding a gun, and they go up and arrest the man, who is covered in blood. Turns out he murdered the 3 children. I'm not fond of home intrusion stories. They're not fun for me. The last question is, what was your scariest nightmare? And gosh darn it, I have a series for that. It's called Nightmare Machine, and I plan on using my scariest nightmare for that series. So I guess you just have to wait and see on that one, friends. Haha. I'm such a troll. I'm sorry. I want to save all my nightmares for my Nightmare Machine series. I'm sorry, I didn't actually technically answer this question. Alright guys, so that's kind of the end of this video. Again, sorry it was so chillax, but it's really hard for me to do super intricate videos right now when I'm trying to do 7 super intricate videos before the end of, not next week, but the week after that. So I'm trying to get that ready. And update, there will only be 1 video next week, and it is a different sort of video, but I hope you like it either way. It's kind of an entry to a contest. It will be the only video I put up next week because starting not this Sunday, but the Sunday after that is Halloween Streamfest 2K15, and I've got to get ready. I don't have time to make 2 videos next week on top of editing and filming 7 videos. Sorry if that really pisses you off. I hope I can deliver 7 good days of really good Halloween-themed videos for you that you enjoy. If you liked the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you would like to see more content from me, don't forget to hit that subscribe button over in that corner over there. It's big and red and bright and you can't miss it. And you don't want to miss Halloween Streamfest 2K15. Also, I'm on social media. You can follow me on Twitter, Snapchat, Tumblr, Facebook, and Instagram, although I am finding right now because I'm so busy. Twitter has been my main social media for any updates from me. Facebook, not so much. Snapchat, I don't think I know how to do it right. Instagram, I'm like, pictures how? And Tumblr, I'm like, this is a black hole. And now I want you to do something for me. You don't have to, if you would like though. I'm gonna put the 7 questions down in this tag below in the description. Do this tag yourself down in the comments. That's the point of a tag. You're supposed to tag people, and I tag every one of you. I look forward to reading your answers in the comments. I look forward to reading all your creepy stories. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. I love you all so much. I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye! Right now. No. Nope. Nope. Nope.